only thing that really would bother me was my scar. It felt like the ends of my scar was burning, or like it just felt like a stinging. And they say that's normal. But this whole thing, and it might be for other people, but this whole thing about feels like your guts are falling out, or I did not experience that one bit. I feel like if you do exactly what they tell you, it's gonna hopefully go okay. And I did exactly what my doctors told me to do. I didn't go past my medication intake, the time that I needed to take them. I literally did not feel that bad of pain. Like sitting up was tough. Like that felt like I was gonna tear something, if anything. But other than that, I didn't really feel anything else. The first day I didn't know if I made the right decision or not, and I felt, more so because I felt less, I didn't feel like I feel like I could have done it, and I felt like I could have pushed him out, but I know that I made the best decision. I know, now I do, at least. And even a couple days later, I was like, you know what, I know I made the best decision. It was the safest, and I feel confident in it now. So we left the hospital 4 days later, and we were back home. My mom stayed for about a week, which was awesome. She was such a help. There's nothing like having your mom there with you, and she was there for the birth, so that was awesome. From the start, Brooks was a really, really good sleeper, almost too good, because unless they get back to their birth weight, because they lose their birth weight pretty quick because of the milk that you supply. It's called colostrum, so it's thicker and it's harder to get out for them, so they don't intake as much. So until my milk came in, that's really when he started to gain his weight. But when he was first born, the first couple days, they want him to be eating like every 2 to 3 hours. He would not wake up to eat, and I would literally have to set my alarm to wake him up to eat. Now he's a little bit better with sleeping. He probably sleeps 4 to 6 hours a night through the night, which people would look at me like I'm crazy saying that's all right, because you hear some people going through they have to wake up every 20 minutes to feed their baby, or something's wrong. So I feel really lucky in that area. He's actually sleeping right now. After my milk came in and we got on a good schedule, it was smooth sailing from there. Another thing that I did want to talk about is my body after baby, because that's something that I've definitely struggled with. I know to some extent everybody is somewhat insecure, but as a 20-year-old who, I'm looking back at photos of when I was modeling and I was 130, 35 pounds, and I was still so insecure, from the loose skin to the stretch marks to the belly button and actually most people would say, oh, are you insecure about your scar? But that's actually the last thing that I'm worried about. My scar is about 4 inches long, and it's low enough to where you would be having to wear a G-string to see it. You would have to be wearing a really, really small bathing suit to see my scar, because it's that low. That's probably self-image and my body after baby. That's been probably the toughest thing for me. My stretch marks got worse after delivery, which I didn't really even know about. I thought that after what you had during pregnancy is what you would have after, but that's actually not the case. When your belly deflates, and I'm thinking about it now, it makes total sense. When your belly deflates, that's when you get more stretch marks. And also I have something called diastasis recti, which is your transverse abdominals. They just get stretched out, and it's muscle separation, which makes your belly button stretch out and kind of a bit more round. So I'm right now focusing more on workouts that help that. But again, the thing that really is tough for me to look at is the loose skin and the stretch marks, because I got it bad. He stretched me out really bad, and I love him for it. It's hard for me to look at them as beautiful and as a reminder of what I went through for 9 months and me carrying Brooks. It's just hard to accept those parts of my body. I know that if I'm doing all that I can to make things better, there's really nothing to worry about. Blake loves me for who I am, and not what I look like, and he's been so good and supportive throughout this whole process, and I'm so grateful for him. We definitely do want to do more kids down the road, maybe in the next 2 years, 3 years, you never know. But my OB said that the only thing that would help with my stretch marks is laser treatment. So I'm thinking if I'm gonna have another kid in the next 2 years, it's stupid to even think about that when that would just go down the drain. So we're bearing with the stretch marks, we're accepting the stretch marks and the loose skin, and it's great. I love it. So I'm really trying hard to focus on the blessings of it and not what my body looks like. But I'm back working out. It was kind of a freak situation, but I got cleared at 4 weeks to start working out again, which normally it's 6 to 8. So I was back at yoga at 4 weeks, which was awesome. I love to work out, and it felt so good to get back. And I was boxing at 5 or 6 weeks, I think. I'm ready to get my body back. But I also, one thing, if I were to give anybody advice, is try not to focus on your body image too much during this time, because I could cry even thinking about it. I look back at this time, these past 2 months, and they have flown by. I wish that I can take back the times where I've spent crying and focusing on how I look, rather than spending time with Brooks and loving on him and embracing these sweet moments, because they're fleeting. And it feels like yesterday we were in the hospital with him. It's just so crazy to see how fast time goes. I don't know why people don't have kids younger. It has been way easier than people have made it out to be. It's probably been a little bit smoother for us, but still, if you have the chance, do kids earlier rather than later. Because I have so much energy. I'm ready to go travel with him and go out and do everything. I feel like I want to conquer the world. Another thing that I wanted to touch on was how my relationship with Blake has been. So before I got pregnant, Blake and I weren't really getting along too well, and we were going through some things. And when I found out that I was pregnant with Brooks, it's crazy what life does, what the thought of bringing life into this world does to a relationship, because it can either do good to a relationship or it can do really, really bad. And thankfully it actually brought us together and made our relationship so much stronger. A lot of people have questioned our young marriage, and they said it's not going to work, and I just think it's a choice to make things work. In today's generation, I feel like people just give up too quick. It definitely takes some fighting to make a relationship and a marriage work, and we've never been better. We are in the sweetest moment of our marriage, and you hear so many people saying when a baby comes into the equation, you guys separate and you guys grow apart, and it's been actually the complete opposite for us. We're learning more and more about each other each day, and it's just, I wouldn't want to be with anybody else and go through these times with anybody else. I'm so glad I was able to sit down and talk to you guys and fill you in on what's been going on and what life has been like for us. I just feel so blessed to even have this platform to share things with you guys. After this video, I'm gonna do a little recap of what the past 2 months have been like with Brooks. Stay tuned.